Hey everyone, it's only Becky. I decided to do a Hogwarts Legacy walkthrough on story mode because there's still people out there who want to play it, but think they can't because they don't play video games and therefore they'd be no good at this one. I'm here to say, don't be so hard on yourself. And actually, you can play it. Story mode is super simple. It focuses more on the story than the fighting and whatnot. It's a great way for people who are not good at video games at all to enjoy the game. Alrighty, notice here that I have 3 profiles already. I'm missing a Slytherin, so let's make a new character. Here's the Hogwarts acceptance letter. Feel free to pause it if you'd like to read it. This is the new character screen. There are tons of options. Make sure you click story right here, otherwise you'll get into regular gameplay. When naming my characters, I always try to make them as though they're ancestors of students we know. Gertrude. Bulstrode. Who is she the ancestor of? If you know, post a comment. Okay, here we go. So we start out standing next to a carriage, talking with an old man. We learn his name is Professor Eleazar Fig. He's a teacher at Hogwarts and he's been working with us on some basic spell work. We're starting school today. A younger man joins us shortly. He wants to talk to us, but best not to do it out in the open. We get in the carriage and we're off. A sinister looking man is watching us. So a bit later we're flying through the air and the younger man, George Osric, a ministry employee, starts a bit of small talk. We're introduced as a new student, a 5th year. George is flabbergasted. He'd never heard of someone starting school so late. After a bit more small talk, he gets down to business. He pulls out a newspaper and we're introduced to the main villain of the game, Ranrock. They talk about how great a threat Ranrock is, and we think we see something out the window. A trick of the light, perhaps? We learn that Fig's wife has died, but before she did, she wrote to George about Ranrock and sent him this. He can't open it, and neither can Fig. We notice a glow no one else can see, and when Fig hands it to us, it pops open. Fig stops us from touching it, and then, BAM! Dragon attack! It rips our carriage in half and kills George. We look behind us, and the Thestrals appear. Take note of the dragon's collar, it's important for later. We jump from the carriage on Fig's order, and he saves us mid-air by summoning the key. Turns out the key was a port key, and it took us to the Scottish Highlands. We're hurt, so Fig introduces us to Wiggenweld potion. It's for healing. We go through a small tutorial on how to move, turn, jump, and cast a basic cast. While we run to the ruins, we learn that Miriam, Fig's late wife, spent years looking for a form of ancient magic. She wanted to understand why this magic disappeared from the wizarding world. We break an enchantment that looks like ice and we continue. There are several clay pots you can break on the way if you like, just for fun. We arrive at the ruins and break some pots, and we look at a statue and a mural on the wall. We then follow a path around the back of the ruin and we see another enchanted wall. We see a room behind it, but Fig doesn't. We get near the wall and we're transported through it. Unbelievably, we're at Gringotts, which is in London. We wake the goblin and he asks if we want Vault 12. We say yes, hand over the key, and get in a cart. We learn from the goblin that Vault 12 is centuries old and no one has ever visited it in living memory. We meet another goblin. Take note of his armband. And our goblin tells him we're going to Vault 12. As we pass, we notice the other goblin leave. When we get to Vault 12, there's a chest on the right. Be sure to collect it. Anyways, the holder of the key was to be granted access, and then the door was to be closed. We learn Revelio in this vault. When you learn a spell, you have to get the little arrow thing all along the path to the spell at the end. In story mode, this is easy. There's supposed to be a red line chasing you, but in story mode, you can take your time because the red line barely moves. On PC, just move your mouse pointer along the spell and the arrow will follow. The little symbols along the spell just make your arrow move faster. We cast Revelio and discover a door. We go through it and it's a huge pitch black room. Fig casts Lumos and we start walking. Be sure to use Revelio here because I believe there's 2 chests to collect from. Maybe there's just 1, I don't remember. We see the glow on the floor and interact with it. The room changes and there's a statue in the floor. We cast Revelio, and there's another statue. We need to learn Lumos to make the statues face the same direction. When they do, we have to fight the statues. This is our fighting tutorial. Fighting is not hard in this game when you're in story mode. The bad guys take forever to attack, and when they do, you don't lose many hit points. Anyways, Fig disappears and we continue on our own. We find wisps of magic on the ground. We follow them and interact with the magic after collecting a chest, and we line up the statues and fight them. The red bar at the top of the screen tells us how much health our enemy has left. When we defeat the statues, we follow the magic again, interact with it, and go through an archway. We see a basin and find Fig. We enter the basin, which is a pensive, and we witness a memory. 2 men are building a fancy room. We learn that they hid the port key and created a path to follow. The older man can see traces of ancient magic. The path they've hidden will unlock knowledge of the ancient magic. We learn from the pensive that the glow we see that no one else can is traces of ancient magic. We are the one to follow the path that the men Percival and Charles were talking about. We hear the goblin from before saying the vault looks different now. He tries to stop another goblin from entering the vault, Ranrock. Remember when the second goblin from before left? Well, turns out he left to alert Ranrock that Vault 12 was being accessed. Ranrock wants whatever we found in here. The little goblin tries to tell him that we're entitled to the vault because we had the key, and Ranrock kills him. A small fight ensues, and apparently the vault doesn't like that. We only just get away through a magic passage. It's at this point that I started to get a little frustrated when I first played the game. When do we get to Hogwarts? Moments later, Fig says,
"We have a sorting ceremony to get to."
We see the Hogwarts Express and the castle. We talk some more. Fig transforms our clothes into school robes. He says he needs to study the locket we found inside the Gringotts vault. We meet Professor Black, the headmaster, and finally get sorted. If you have your Wizarding World account connected to your game, it will automatically put you into the house you were sorted into there. But since I already have a Hufflepuff, I'm going to choose a different house. More talking. There's no Quidditch in this game, bummer. We meet Professor Weasley, Deputy Headmistress and Transfiguration Teacher. She shows us to our common room. The next day, we wake and go to the common room. We meet some students. Here I paused my recording and forgot to unpause it, but it's all dry tutorial stuff. Weasley shows us around, gives us a book called a field guide that we have to fill in, then tells us how to do it. We go to our first class. I chose Charms. I hate this game that Ronan makes us play. Hate it. Hate. Fortunately, after this tutorial in class, we never have to play it again if we don't want to. But we learn Accio, so all's good. We return to class, chat with Natty, and talk to Ronan. I skipped another bunch of tutorial stuff, but we learn Reparo. Since we were attacked by a dragon and lost all our stuff, Sebastian is going to take us into Hogsmeade to get some more stuff. You can choose Natty to accompany you, but I'm a Slytherin, so I chose Sebastian. On the way, we learn that his twin sister Anne is sick. We go to different shops, we meet different shopkeepers, collect some Revelio pages and chests, and get our stuff. At Ollivander's, we try several wands. If you have your Wizarding World account linked to your game, you'll get the same wand you have there. You can change it, of course, but I just leave it. I usually change the look of it, though. When we're done, we meet Sebastian. He suggests looking around Hogsmeade a bit, but we're interrupted by a troll. Take note of his armor. The adults lead the troll away from Hogsmeade, but there's another one close behind. We learn more fighting techniques, including the ancient magic throw and how to invoke our ancient magic. The adults, including Officer Singer, are amazed. Someone is calling. Sebastian goes to talk to him while we repair the village. We meet Sebastian in the clothing shop and we learn different clothing items have different abilities. On the way to the 3 broomsticks with Sebastian, we hear a man talking with Ranrock. His name is Victor Rookwood. Ranrock wanted Rookwood to capture us. Ranrock brought the trolls in as a distraction.
I just watched a student take down your distraction.
Grumpy face. So we head to the 3 broomsticks and meet Sirona the barkeeper. She's very nice. She gives us a free butterbeer. Then Rookwood and the other man, Theophilus Harlow, bust in. Words are exchanged and Rookwood says he's here for us. Sirona tells him that we're busy enjoying our butterbeer, and everyone in the bar prepares to defend us. Outnumbered, they leave. Sebastian freaks out at all the bad guys after us. We promise to explain later, and he suggests we head back to the castle, which we do. I'll leave the video here. If you liked it, please stay tuned for part 2. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on my next video. Till then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.